bride yelled at the poor guest. Then the priest exposed her past. The grand hall of the Rosewood Banquet Center shimmered under the glow of crystal chandeliers, where every detail, from the polished marble floors to the cascading floral arrangements, spoke of elegance and celebration. On this warm spring afternoon, the room was filled with friends and family, all dressed in their finest, eagerly awaiting the moment when Emily Carter would walk down the aisle. Emily, radiant in her ivory gown, stood near the altar with a smile that masked a storm brewing beneath the surface. Among the guests was a humble figure, James Miller, a man in simple clothes, his worn shoes and quiet demeanor marking him as an outsider among the lavish crowd. As Emily spotted James in the back row, her face twisted with contempt. With a sharp voice that cut through the murmur of guests, she snapped, "What are you even doing here? This isn't the place for someone like you." Her words echoed loudly, silencing conversations and sending a ripple of unease through the room. The guests exchanged stunned glances. But before the tension could deepen, Father Collins, the officiant known for his calm wisdom, stepped forward, with a steady gaze. What he revealed next didn't just shock the crowd, it changed everything. Everyone thought they knew about Emily and about the meaning of true forgiveness. But first, let us know where you're watching from. If you love stories that expose hidden truths behind polished facades, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Emily Carter was the kind of bride who commanded attention the moment she entered the room. Her perfectly styled blonde hair cascaded in soft waves over her shoulders, catching the light like spun gold. Her dress, an elegant designer gown with intricate lace and a sweeping train, spoke of luxury and careful planning. Every detail, from her sparkling diamond necklace to the flawless makeup, was meticulously chosen to project an image of grace, success, and control. To many, Emily was the quintessential picture of a perfect life. Raised in an affluent suburb, daughter of a prominent real estate developer, and now marrying into one of the city's wealthiest families. Her world revolved around high society galas, designer boutiques, and carefully curated social media posts showcasing her glamorous lifestyle. Across the hall sat James Miller. In stark contrast to Emily's polished image, James was dressed plainly in a worn jacket and jeans, his hands calloused from years of manual labor. His face was weathered, with a soft kindness in his deep-set eyes that told a story of hardship but also resilience. James worked as a groundskeeper for the banquet center, a job he held for over a decade, quietly maintaining the gardens that decorated events like this one. Despite his modest means, James carried himself with quiet dignity and humility. He rarely spoke, preferring to stay in the background, unnoticed by most guests, invisible. In a world of luxury he was never meant to enter. But today, his presence was impossible to ignore. As the ceremony preparations carried on, Emily's sharp eyes kept darting toward James. She whispered to her maid of honor, her voice dripping with thinly veiled disdain. "Why is he even here? This isn't some charity event." The maid of honor glanced nervously at James but said nothing. James, unaware of the harsh whispers behind him, quietly took a seat near the back, his hands folded, trying to remain invisible amidst the sea of elegance. But the whispers didn't stop. A few guests near him exchanged uneasy looks, some casting judgmental glances, others trying to hide their smirks. Emily's subtle jabs grew bolder. When James accidentally brushed against a decorative table, Emily's voice cut through the room like ice. "Watch where you're going," she snapped, loud enough for several guests to hear. Murmurs spread. The rich and privileged around started to edge away, shielding themselves from the blemish in their perfect picture. James's face tightened, but he said nothing. The priest, Father Collins, watched silently from the altar, his expression calm but thoughtful. No one knew it yet. But this moment was about to set off a chain of events that would shake the entire wedding and reveal a truth nobody expected. The atmosphere grew heavier as the ceremony drew closer. Emily's disdain turned sharper, no longer hiding behind whispers. During the reception rehearsal, as James quietly cleared a spilled drink near the buffet, Emily strode past him and said loudly enough for nearby guests to hear, "Honestly, James, Maybe this isn't the place for you. This is a celebration, not a shelter. A few guests laughed awkwardly while others cast uncomfortable glances at the bride. James kept his composure but felt the sting of every word. He wasn't used to being treated like an outsider, especially not on a day meant for joy. Yet, the worst was yet to come. When Emily's closest friends gathered nearby, one of them murmured, "I don't know why the family even invited him. It's embarrassing." James overheard, but said nothing. Father Collins approached quietly and laid a hand on James's shoulder, giving him a look of quiet reassurance. The priest's calm presence was the only thing that kept James grounded as the whispers and sideways glances continued to chip away at his dignity. And just as the tension reached its peak, the priest knew it was time to step in, to reveal a truth that would not only silence the crowd but flip the entire story on its head. Just as Emily was about to dismiss James once again, Father Collins stepped forward, his voice steady but commanding. "Before we continue, there's something everyone here needs to know." The room fell silent, all eyes turning toward the priest. "James Miller is not just the groundskeeper you see before you," Father Collins began, his gaze sweeping the crowd. "He is, in fact, the younger brother of the man Emily is about to marry." Gasps rippled through the guests. Whispers turned into stunned silence. Emily's face drained of color, her confident facade crumbling. Father Collins continued, "James has kept this quiet, choosing humility over pride. But his presence here isn't a mistake. It's a reminder of family, of roots, and of true strength." All eyes now saw James in a new light. No longer the poor guest, he stood tall, the rightful place beside Emily's fiancé suddenly undeniable. The proud bride who had mocked him was now exposed, her judgment laid bare for all to see. The power dynamic had shifted in an instant, and in that charged silence, the truth spoke louder than any insult ever could. The room remained still, not from shock alone, but from a deep, unspoken understanding. Guests who had once turned away now looked toward James with newfound respect. Emily stood quietly, the weight of her words and actions pressing down on her. Father Collins' voice softened as he addressed the crowd. "This moment reminds us all, true worth isn't measured by wealth, appearances, or status. It's shown through kindness, humility, and the strength to carry yourself with grace, no matter your place in life." The crowd began to murmur, conversations shifting from judgment to reflection. Some guests approached James with apologies, others exchanged thoughtful glances. Emily lowered her gaze, a quiet lesson learned in humility. James, who had entered this day unnoticed, left it honored, not just as family, but as a reminder to all that sometimes the most important truths lie beneath the surface, waiting to be seen. And in that shared moment, the wedding hall wasn't just a place of celebration, it became a place of awakening. Stories like this remind us how easy it is to judge someone by what we see on the surface, their clothes, their role, or their background. But beneath those first impressions, everyone carries a story worth hearing. True respect isn't earned by status or appearances, but by the courage to be genuine and the grace to treat others with kindness. No matter their place in the world. Next time you see someone who seems different or out of place, remember James's story and ask yourself, what truths might I be missing? Because sometimes the greatest revelations come from the most unexpected people. Thank you for watching. If this story touched you, let us know where you're from and subscribe for more stories that reveal the hidden truths behind everyday life.